Joanna, it's really a pleasure to be here today with you and to present this great initiative for young scholars like me. So I'm really happy to have you there. Uh, the title of this initiative and also the editorial that you published is Stepping into the Future of Project Studies, Establishing the PMJ College for Early Career Researchers in Project Studies. Uh, I really wish to know a lot about it, but could you please, at the beginning, introduce yourself?
Yes. So thanks for the invitation, and thank you so much for doing the video and helping us to spread the word. So I'm very keen to do this. So my name is Joanna Giraldi. I'm a classic project scholar. So I've been studying, working, teaching in projects my entire life, or at least career, so to say. My work is mostly in the intersection between project and strategy, and also parts of it is dedicated to project studies itself, to the development of our community, to the development of what makes them good project scholarship, and what makes projects per se in a more kind of philosophical, sociological sense.
In the attempt really to build and to foster the project studies communities, you have just launched this new initiative that is PMJ College. So the aim is really to empower early career, am I right?
Yes,
And could you tell us a bit more about this program and the content of it?
Yes, absolutely. So first of all, I'd like to talk about the team. So I'm so glad that we're able to attract a fantastic team of scholars to be part of this program. First, we got both editors-in-chief of PMJ to be part of our initiative, Giorgio Locatelli and Jonas Söderlund. So that in itself is amazing, and they are doing a lot of work behind the scenes to make this to function. So excellent. And they are also both outstanding scholars. Giorgio focuses more on the mega project context and does extremely relevant research, very close with industry as well as academia. So fantastic guy. And Jonas has been having a history of bridging. He is an integrative scholar that is able to bridge project scholarship with other fields and attract big stars from other fields into project scholarship. So fantastic that we have also someone like that in the team. Then we have a good mix of earlier career scholars and established scholars. On the established side, we have Stuart Clark and 𝐓𝐡𝐞 𝐌𝐨𝐭𝐢𝐯𝐷. They are both very well established scholars, not only in projects, but also in more generic and in organization studies. So they are very well big names in both fields, and we're very keen to learn from them. Also, we as being part of it, so I'm myself interested to see what they're going to say and be part of the different workshops. So that's a fantastic opportunity to any researcher. And then we have kind of established project scholars like me and Shasya Norman. Shasya is really cool because she is not from kind of classic European countries, but she comes from Pakistan. And that showcases our commitment for diversity. I'm coming from Brazil myself, so I know what it is and how academic work functions in other societies and other countries, particularly in the global south. And we need to support them more. The extremely talented individuals that require perhaps more support. They don't have access to the same type of resources that we have here in Europe. So, and then we have Tristano Sainacci. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm Italian, but I'm really bad with Italian names. It's kind of
No
quite
worries,
embarrassing.
it's fine.
So, Tristano Sainacci, who is actually establishing himself. So he's already associate professor, so well established, but kind of earlier in the career in comparison to the others in the team. So we're very keen then to have this diverse group of scholars, classic project scholars around the globe and different phases in the career.
Yeah, this is really a very good mix of expertise, nationalities. So yeah, amazing.
because that's what we want. We want to bring the early careers academics the best we can have of knowledge and insights on how to do good research in projects. So we bring the field forward. So the program is that. The program, as opposed to having kind of this isolated one-off events that usually you have in conferences, like the PhD workshops or the postdocs workshops, we want to give the candidates, the cohort, a bit more continuity and develop a relationship and a mentorship with them. And we would like to do that in this area that is really difficult for early career academics at the end of the post or the PhD, in the beginning of the postdoc. That's where you set yourself, and that's the hard part, and that's also where we lose most of our talent into consultancy and other in the industry. And we would like to keep it, to keep the good ones in, and help them to develop an academic career. So, and that's then what the program is about. It's about bringing them in, empowering them with knowledge, and as well as mentorship.
And I have a question that is more about, I mean, let's assume that young scholars are not properly project study scholars. So if you can clarify a bit more why this program, why this now, so the relevance of this program, especially for project studies.
Yes, so I think it's important to understand first that projects are required in society, or let's put it the other way around, society requires projects. Let's just think about any kind of big challenge we face today: climate action, diversity, poverty. All those issues are going to be tackled by a series of projects. So therefore, project scholarship that will be supporting also project practice has never been as relevant. And with that, so on the one hand, we have a field of study that's extremely relevant. It's also relevant for organizations, not only kind of in the societal level, but also in the organizational level. We are under a society that is in complete turbulence. Things are changing in a speed that we have never seen before, and therefore organizations need to constantly be recreating themselves. And there again, projects will be extremely important in the development. So therefore, kind of projects are very important. And because projects are so important, it's also important to foster project scholarship. And luckily, or not luckily, kind of based on a lot of work, we have been developing projects as a field. So project studies is now an established field of work where you can actually lead an excellent academic career. It was not the case a couple of years ago, but now we have established field that is well recognized also in general management and organization studies. So we can actually build on that. So if you are outside of the field but perhaps have a research that has an interest in, or you are studying projects yourself, but you didn't call it so, it's actually maybe worth calling it so, because we can publish well in excellent journals, and we are an established field.
Thank you. Super clear. Thank you so much.
We're going to have 2 years program. So the first 2 workshops per year, and then following the 2 years, there's a mentorship program where we're going to match up the participant with potential members of our PMJ editorial board. Should I talk more about what is inside of the program?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay, so inside of the program, so we're going to start off with a discussion of how do we read? How do we read? How discuss articles? And this seems like an obvious thing. So we all know how to read, right? So we learned that when we were 6 in school. But actually reading is not that simple. Reading well, understanding the text, developing the text, critically engaging with them makes a good scholar. And not only a scholar that is trying to publish in highly ranked journals. Of course, we need to do that, but the point is not to publish in highly ranked journal. The point is to do excellent work, critical work, work that will bring project studies forward and would also increase our knowledge. And we need that knowledge so much. So we start therefore with the basics. We start with how do we actually read and discuss academic work so we can use it in a nice way in our own writing and in our own development of the research. So we're looking into sociological and organization theory texts that are hard to chew. And we're going to have 𝐓𝐡𝐞 and 𝐓𝐡𝐞 and me helping us out deciphering those difficult texts like Bauman and who else are we actually having? So we're having kind of, we're basing ourselves in a book from 𝐓𝐡𝐞. But anyway, so, and what is actually cool about this very first session, and it's actually one of the motivations for me to doing this as well, on a kind of more private side, is I've heard when from other colleagues in Australia that the PhD students were defined in between before 𝐓𝐡𝐞 course and after 𝐓𝐡𝐞 course. So I met him in a conference and said, so what the heck do you do with the students? And he told me, well, I teach them how to read. We go through texts and they read a lot. And I thought, okay, we need that. We need this. So and we would like to broadcast this and give the opportunity for other people outside of the small community in Australia to also have a chance to capture at least a little bit of that. So that would be the kind of the first part. Then from there, we're going into methods. There we're going to do it in 𝐓𝐡𝐞 or close to 𝐓𝐡𝐶. So the first workshops will be November online, and then around 𝐓𝐓𝐡𝐞 face-to-face, one day before 𝐓𝐓𝐡𝐞. And in the 𝐓𝐓𝐡𝐞 workshop, we're then going into methods. It's a kind of basic thing. We all have to do our work properly, collect data nicely, analyze it well. And we know the basics, and we expect the students to know the basics. But the nitty-tricky details on how to actually do it, advanced technologies on how to explore the data in more interesting and different ways, this is a bit harder. And that's what we'll be focusing on. So how to actually innovate in the methods side. So that will be then the second workshop. Then the third workshop that, again, we go online would be on writing and reviewing. So how do we review work and how do we write work? And it's nice actually to have the two in combination with one another, because actually reviewing work is a fantastic way to learn to write. And I always teach my students, so you first write and then you read it as if you would be your own reviewer, with a kind of one step behind, and see, can you actually understand this? Is the red thread really there? Not what we think we wrote, but what actually is there. And that helps a lot in the writing process. So that would be then the next step. And then finally, the last piece would be on career development, kind of moving further. So how do we actually kind of help this cohort to engage in academic work? How can they set their careers? And we're going to have then people from different countries that will help in the develop the careers in the different countries, because of course having career development is something that is very global. So we need to address it accordingly. So, but that's the overall what's happening inside of the program.
That's amazing. I mean, the opportunity to have networking with peers, but also with experts coming from different disciplines and all together worldwide. So also this, I mean, striving for the excellence, but also the diversity and inclusion, I think is it's really inspiring, really interesting, I think, enriching for future scholars. So
Yeah,
that's amazing.
And we're now kind of looking and hoping to spread the word around the globe. We are kind of particularly targeting the global south, but of course, this does not mean that the Europeans and North America and Australia shouldn't be kind of felt invited. We just would like to have a balance. And we are so glad that PMI has been supporting our initiative financially and also gave us some budget to support the trip of a student or one student, so that would need some help, would not be able to participate in the program. So if budget is one issue, we might be able to sort that. So at the moment, we only have kind of the support for one student from the cohort. We're thinking around 10 students in total, but at least it's a good starting point, and we're really happy that PMI was able to support us with that. So thank you so much, PMI.
That's really interesting. Yeah. Also to decrease the barriers to entrance. So that's really relevant. Thank you, PMI. In practice, what are the evaluation criteria, the entry requirements for students?
Yes, of course. I mean, you need to be in a university or kind of. I mean, there are different variations of what a university is, but it needs to be kind of officially enrolled in a doctoral program, or at least kind of 1 year on holding a postdoc position at a university or business school. And that's important. And therefore, kind of either having a doctorate or kind of being towards the end of the doctorate. That's kind of the entry requirements. And of course, this is to foster scholarship in projects. So an interest in projects, having a PhD in projects is also part of the requirements. So, and in terms of kind of how are we evaluating the proposals, so there's kind of three main criteria. So the first one is the quality of the proposal. We're going to ask you to write a short 3-page proposal, a research proposal, that is explaining what your research, what your doctorate research is, or what your postdoc project is, kind of focusing on the research framing, the theory, and the method. And we're going to look at the quality of that proposal. So how insightful it is, how relevant is the research problem, how innovative and sound is the methodology, how well developed is the theoretical background, and so on. So that's the first criteria. Then the second criteria is relevance to project studies. Again, so this is for the development of project scholars. So we would like to have it, your study being then relevant to project studies. And then thirdly, as we mentioned before, so we would like to help people to stay in academia. So talented individuals to stay in and develop an academic career, and therefore having an ambition to stay in academia and develop your career in academia would be really important. And therefore it kind of makes into the third criteria.
Great. Thank you so much. Really appreciate. And this is for the audience. So all the information will be also in the description of this video, and we share. And of course, I invite you to read the editorial published on Project Management Journal if you want to really go in depth on all the content and the description of this amazing project. So thank you so much, really.
Yeah.
Joanna, it's been a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alex, for doing this.